teach science at Snow Hill High School. I hope that the video I provide today will help on your journey to learn more about technology. I'm going to specifically focus on the Numbers app. It's been super useful in science, but has skill sets that can be utilized throughout all the different disciplines. I'm going to spend time specifically talking about how to set up a document on the Numbers app in the MacBook. I will show the subtle differences in the iPad, and then I'm going to end with some other ideas that could be used throughout all disciplines. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me after you're watching the video. Thanks and have a great day. Start Numbers. I start with this screen where I have to choose a template. I'm going to choose the basic template, which is blank, although there are other options if that is where you want to start. So with the blank template, it kind of looks like an Excel spreadsheet. The cool thing is that I can actually delete the entire spreadsheet, and now I have a blank canvas to work with. I'm going to go over onto the right, and I'm going to duplicate some sheets. I'll rename them later, but I'm going to use the blank canvas. I'm going to show you kind of how a lab station works, but then I'll give other examples later on how you can use numbers in almost any discipline. So to start off with, in most labs, we have an intro. I'm going to label it intro. What I did is I clicked onto the tab, and it was just a quick change of name. I'm then going to add some text. If I look at the top, I have insert, table, chart, text, shape, media, and comment. So I'm going to start with a text. And here's my text box. And in this lab, I'm going to ask the question, does the height of an object affect its speed and acceleration? Once I've done that, I can change the font, I can highlight it, I can make it larger, maybe I want to put it on 30. I can also click on it again. At the moment it's listed as body, but I could put it as a title, which changes the font. I can make it larger again. So all of my editing features are on the right hand side. I can look at the style, the layout, the type. Do I want a different font? Maybe I want Big Carlson. And I can change if it's bold, I can change if it's central, etc. This is your editing feature on the right. Let's make it a little bit larger. And then I can pull on to space it all the way out. Next up, maybe I want to add some shapes. Let's add just a basic ramp. And we'll put a ramp in there so the students can have kind of a visual. And then I could add a shape. Maybe I want to put a ball. Let's put my little ball. Does the height of an object affect its speed and shape? Just change my ball color. Keep my ramp the same side. As you can see, the editing features are on the right hand side as well. They're under the format at the top of numbers. And then maybe I want to find out what my group numbers are. So let's go to shape. Let's see if there's a computer. I'm going to put a little computer box in here. And once I highlight it on it, I'm going to expand it. And I'm going to put a text box in there where I can ask students to provide group names. And to make it easier for them, I also place a blank text box so they're set. Maybe I don't want students to delete or move this. So if I go to arrange, I can highlight a section, and if you look down on the format on the right, I can click lock. That has now locked that capability for it to be edited unless you go back and hit unlock. This just eliminates the possibility of the whoops, I deleted it thing. Next, I'm going to go to sheet 2. In this case, I'm going to add a group checklist. If I add a group checklist, it's a great opportunity for students to kind of go through and make sure they've clicked all the boxes. I think this would be also wonderful if you did it in maybe a reading class. So if you hit table, you can add table, and as you can see on the left, I'm going down on the left to the third option. I'm going to click on this checkbox. Make it larger. I can highlight and change it to group checklist. Maybe I want to ask them, have they completed items? Completed. And I don't need all 5 options, so I'm going to take this double box on the right and I'm just going to click on it, and it deletes my extra columns if I move it to the left. So now I only have 2 shapes instead of multiple. If I click on the whole thing, I can make it larger, and I can add options for kids. Maybe I want to know, have they written their hypothesis? Or is there a materials list? Maybe do they have their data entered? And this just provides a mind map for students to go through. If they have it, they have the opportunity to click on it as they complete the sections, which is a great self-check, are you ready? The third title, I'm going to label equipment or experiment. And in this part, I would ask students different questions. Maybe I want to know, what's the hypothesis? Ask them to create one. It sometimes helps a lot if you add a text box underneath. That way students aren't going to delete it. And if they're not super familiar with numbers, it just adds a little less confusion towards the end. Next, I might add a section that's called materials. And I can have students add their materials. It's up to you if you want to leave it blank. Maybe I let them know that they need a ramp, and they're going to have a marble and maybe some meter sticks. As you can see, it's quite easy to type in. The last section I typically add to a lab is going to be the procedure section, and I'll type it out. Most students get overwhelmed when they see a lab that's multiple pages or a project that's multiple pages. So numbers is a great way to kind of decrease the anxiety of a large format, and it chunks it. So I've added intro. Now they've just looked at the group checklist. They're just looking at the experiment. Have they read through the experiment? In the next section, I might add a data area. With the data area, I can do all sorts of options for the students. I can insert a table, which I can ask for some data. Maybe I want trials. How many do you need? What's the height of the ramp? What's the time in seconds? What's your distance? Maybe ask them in meters. I would put down how many trials they have just so that I can kind of keep them organized. Think of a traditional chart that you see in a paper and pencil lab. This is just a little bit more interactive. And if you want, you can even have an average column for students to look at. Once that's done, maybe you want students to add pictures. The nice thing is that now we have the option for students to use the video portion, which is awesome, and actually provide data into their lab. To do that, to make it a little bit easier for them, you can add a shape. So just look for your basic black shape. I'm going to make it a little bit larger. In the center, I'm going to put a text box. I'm going to say place picture or video here. Once that's done, I can take a screenshot of it, I can add it back in, and then I can make it into a placeholder. Taken a screenshot of my picture, and I've now placed it back into the object. What I can do is I can click on Format at the top corner, go to Advanced, and define as media placeholder. This now allows students the option to add a picture without having to go through where do I go to format it. If they click on this media in the right hand corner, it automatically brings up their photo reel and they can just add whatever video or picture to do. I did have to take a screenshot though of my black box, cut it down, crop it, place it in. Once I've added the screenshot, then I could go through Format, Advanced, and define as media placeholder. The other thing you can do is you can set up so that the students are already able to do the function and it will automatically do it for them. So maybe I want to put average, and I could do B2 to B6. And so it's already averaged for the students. As they place numbers into this, they don't even have to do any of the work. You've already set up the formatting for them. It's up to you if you want to teach the students how to do averages. I find that this is sometimes easier and it decreases some of the steps for students to do, especially in the beginning of the school year, and then I start giving them some ownership towards the end of the school year. You can also create a chart or a graph. So if you go to chart and you go to 2D, there's now a chart already done for them. And if you delete these averages, you can see that the chart creates itself as the averages are being put in. This also eliminates students having to know how to create the chart. It's just some minor steps that at the beginning are great to have set up and then kind of release as the semester goes on. And then the last one, maybe I'll put an analysis and just ask students to write a CER. We're big at CERs in science, so I would add usability feature of all Apple products is the ability to add audio into a document. So if I want to add a shape to kind of let students know that they could record their information instead of typing it, we can place the microphone in here. If you as the adult would like to provide a recording so students can listen to the questions or the reading, you can place insert, record audio. As you can see, it's a circle at the bottom. If I place this or click this red button, the question is, does the height of an object affect its speed and acceleration? Your job is to write a claim, an evidence, and provide reasoning on how to support your claim. Insert this. And now the audio is there for students to click on, and it gives them some oral directions as well as the written.